Oh, hello there. I didn't see you. Welcome to the Gilded Boar. None of our rooms are ready, but you're welcome to have a seat. What's going on, my crew? This is Rusty, and welcome to another episode of Rusty Builds. I hope you guys enjoyed that little intro. Just doing something to, I don't know, keep it interesting. In today's episode, we are going to be building this building right here. And as of right now, I have no idea what this building is, or who is there, or what, or anything like that. But I actually wanted to try and do things a little bit differently today. So if you guys see that, don't worry. We are okay. I'm hoping that this little bit of a newish format is something that will be much more interesting. So if you guys enjoy it, go ahead down in the comment section below and definitely give me some feedback. Let me know what you like, let me know what you didn't like, and it'll help make this Let's Play better and more interesting. Or I might just get mad at you and yell at you and tell you that you are wrong. I'm just kidding. Okay, so this building, we're going to be planning out, and if things go well, building the entire thing on today's episode. So let's start with the planning phase. Real quick, we're going to go into Creative World and select a palette. Alright, you guys, welcome to the Creative World. I am definitely thinking about some of this brick, and we're going to use these three textures. Probably not that one. I've noticed that I tend to over texture, so I want to try and do something that's a little less textury, as you guys know. We're definitely going to be using oak. And then I'm thinking for the upper structure, we'll use birch. So, and then for the roof, let's do diorite stairs. This should be an interesting sort of grayscale, which we don't really have in the city. And I might, if we do diorite as the sort of outline of the roof, then maybe we could do, yeah. Okay, so I think I've got it. That'll be an interesting bright house. In that, like, if we add some greenery around that, that's really, really gonna pop. Glass. What kind of glass should we use? Maybe we could go with, like, a magenta. Let's see what magenta looks like. That's interesting. Maybe we could go with green, actually. I'm thinking that these sort of earthy tones might... Oh, yeah, that looks a lot better. Yeah. And then, like, we could do, like, something, like, right up there. Maybe two. Like that. Alright, you guys. I am back, and here we are at the build. Just putting on the roof on some of these spots on the lower parts, and then we're going to be working on the roof and just a bit at the top. But I wanted to touch base with you guys and kind of talk with you guys about a couple things. Today is my first day of physical therapy. After I record this, I'm going to be heading off out to go start that. And it's going to be an interesting journey for sure. I've never been to physical therapy. I've done chiropractic care, which kind of has some ups and downs on its own. There's a lot of things about chiropractic care that are interesting that I won't go into. But the long and the short of it is, it hasn't really helped my back in a long-term way. Certainly, I think the case could be made that maybe I haven't taken full advantage of it and gone as often as I could. But physical therapy is way, way less expensive. So I was kind of like, yeah, I'm going to try that and see where that gets me. Do I want it to do that? I don't think I do. I think I just want it to be like this. I'm trying to think of this little porched-in area here. I suppose we could add a layer of depth if we wanted to. Or I could just take this completely out over here. Let's try that instead. So yeah, I'm excited to try physical therapy and see how I do with it. It's gonna be interesting to say the least, because I've got with my back anyways, I've really for a long time now just consigned to the idea that I probably won't be able to have motion and do a lot of things. The chiropractor that I was using had told me that I wouldn't be able to do anything like running in my life, which I'm not someone who wants to run, but I can run pretty fast, and I get told pretty often by people who see me run, like, oh, did you ever do track and field? And then when I tell them no, they're like, oh, you should go and do running because you're really fast. And I'm like, no, thanks. Mostly because it's really painful, and I grew up with not knowing and untreated acid reflux. So when I did run back in like a very, very short period of time that I ran, and the first real amount of running that I did like, what was it? Like 2 miles? No, 3 miles. I did 3 miles of running, my first time running. Which for some of you guys, you're going to be like, that's not even anything, Rusty. I run 15,000 miles every day. I once worked with a guy who legit ran, I think he said 18 miles every day. It was just his way of getting rid of stress. Let's get a floor down up here. I think what we want to go with is polished andesite. But I don't actually have polished andesite now that I'm thinking about it. I want to have something out here, like bookshelves or something. I think we might go with a little bit of sort of a... This would be, in this case, because of all these lighter colors, a darker color block. It works well no matter what, as far as color goes. But the gradient is very different, so we have to be aware of that. I think we're going to do a couple of these. Oh, you know what? I don't know why I'm doing that. We've got tons over here. Alright, so we're going to do basically like something like this. And then I'm thinking we'll even extend this out a little bit and kind of make it a bit confusing but detailed. And we'll just kind of see how this goes. I'm always surprised by how quickly it can get dark in here. But this, I'm thinking, is kind of like where he can focus some of his stuff. If that makes sense. Yeah, I'm thinking something like that. So maybe we'll have like some bookshelves or something out here. But my plan is to have a pretty big window here. And basically when you're walking down this street, really you're going to be looking over at this and going... Because this is going to be kind of like a corner shop, right? So you're going to come down here, you're going to look over, and you're going to be like, ooh, interesting books. You might walk in. But I think what we'll have on the outside is a couple bookshelves and stuff. And because I went to recently a comic book store, and they actually had like toys and stuff on the outside. And obviously this isn't a comic book store, but I think it'd be interesting to like put some books out there on the front, and that way you can like, it'll draw you in, right? Because somebody might read the book and be like, oh, This is really interesting. I want to see what else he has to offer. But he's going to have writing services too. So if you want a letter written, you can do that. So I think this will look pretty good. So yeah, I haven't done a lot of running in a while. And the few times that I did... Oh, that's what I was saying. Because I deal with some acid reflux, which hopefully with my back problems, hopefully getting fixed, that will go away as well. I basically came back, threw up, and was like, yup, not gonna ever do that again. So we got a bit of a problem here. This roof right here is not properly connecting. And I noticed this a while ago, but I didn't realize what was going on. As you guys can see, this roof here, this A-frame roof, is basically down here. And this one cuts up through the middle. So we actually need to lessen this and push this room in. From the inside, if we come in here, it doesn't look bad. It looks actually completely and totally even. But from the outside, there's a problem. And that's right here. So the roof is going up, and it's not terminating into anything. It's just kind of hanging out. But over here, it terminates quite nicely into this wall. So I need to push it over 1, 2, 3 to here. And fix that. The other thing that I did back here was I added, instead of the stone, I added this dark deep slate, and we're gonna see how that looks. Everything else is really this like lighter color, but I thought it might be interesting to do that back here. Shed looks great. Everything's good on this side. And then we've got the porched inside, which I'm gonna add a bunch of books here and some signs about like selling and different things. Excuse me. But back here, I think this is gonna look really great. Building up a bit of a garden back here, and with the black tones, I think it's gonna make for a good color scheme. So up here, I'm still putting in different things, but I think this A-frame is gonna look pretty good. I'm gonna need to get a lot more sand, I think, but here, let me get everything that I need to get. We're just going to do something like that, and then push this all the way back here. So pretty good stuff. Here's a problem. These guys, I set like a little bit extra than I should have, and boom. These guys trying to be freak shows. Another issue that I'm running into is I'm trying to drain this pond so that I can get some amazing and delicious sand. But every time I do, they just kind of like repopulate. And that's getting really annoying. Yeah, so I'm trying to drain this out. And, you watch this. This should work. You see that? And so I have to, like, go quick. Boom, 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 boom. And try and do even more. But, it's become, very difficult. And I thought that this was the whole point of these sponges. So at least we got this drained out. Basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to, not break the dam. I'm trying to make this into a dirt area, and all of this stuff is basically going to be turned into land, and then we're going to actually gradient this up to that way. But in the meantime, I want to get rid of all the sand and repurpose it, and then we'll fill this with dirt. So, yeah. Not to mention, I would like this sand for other projects and other things. We are going to break this. We're going to break it. It's only got Unbreaking 2 and Efficiency 2, and I now have an Efficiency 3 shovel. And we've got another 30 levels, so I really should go enchant another thing. But yeah, I'm trying to drain this thing all the way out that way. And then I think this will actually look, if I replace all of this with dirt, I think it'll look pretty good as a bridge. I mean, not a bridge. As a area for this little pond lake thing. And then over here, this is gonna also be similarly drained out, and then we'll build a smaller bridge to here, because this is going to end up getting drained over here, so we won't need this bridge anymore. So lots of changes coming to Spencer City, because we need a lot more land to be able to do what we need to do. So anyways, I did, fix the problem over there, and we've got, look at all of these chorus fruits. Dang. That's pretty good. I'm excited. We're getting more and more chorus fruits. Soon we will be able to have a bunch of purple blocks, and that is what I'm really excited about. So I will be back, and hopefully the next time you guys see me, it will be when we're all finished with the build. Miyanka, as a child, loved books. Every year for his birthday, he would ask for more, but his father hated that he read. When the Great War started, Miyanka was told to go and serve. He had to do his duty. But when he enlisted, to his father's surprise, all the soldiers wanted him to do was read and write for them. Miyanka was in his element. He was so happy to finally be doing his destiny. That was until one day they were ambushed. Miyanka was given a sword and told to fight, but he didn't know what to do, and so he ran. Seeking asylum in the Kishia kingdom, he huddled in. Miyanka didn't know how to deal with the pain. His lost brothers assumed dead, and dealing with the guilt of abandoning those who he claimed that he cared for. He continued to collect books, more and more and more, surrounding himself with a wall of books and barrels and paper and pages. He hoped it would keep the pain and the memory of those he left behind away. Alright guys, we're back. I hope you enjoyed that little story that I did. Are you guys for real? No. No. You freaking jerk. And, of course, look at this guy. We've got this guy, too. Nothing good for trades. It is a busy happening place over here. We have mostly completed this area. I've still got a lot of stuff that I need to do, but unfortunately running out of time today. On the outside here, as you guys can see, it looks pretty plain. I need to do a whole bunch of mixing of different tones and colors and the stone and all of that stuff. Where I really focused in on this particular build was on the actual decorations. So here, I've got, for Miyanka, he's stored a bunch of bookshelves outside in this little gated area. And inside here, I've got like a bunch of, these are supposed to represent like actual stands, and I think I can put a book in each one. So I'm gonna do that. I'm planning on actually doing a little bit of damage on Miyanka's house. I was thinking about putting maybe a dark oak plank up here or something. I'm also thinking about doing some sort of chimney or something in here, but it's not lit, because he's, like, not lighting it because he's so obsessed with, like, the books. So when we come in here, what I decided to do in here was do, like, a little area, which I've been meaning to put, like, one candle here. This is just a little area where people will come in and sort of be introduced. And then a lot of books. This one was kind of easy for me to figure out how to do, because basically we've got his writing desk that he's working on, because he writes for people and like copies letters and helps them to send things. This is like his quill, but for the most part, like, this is a pretty solid area. And then I moved the enchantment table over here. This was actually kind of hard to do in this little room, with it being up off the ground, because it ends up literally being that a lot of this stuff is very difficult to get to work with the enchantment table when there's, you know, trying to get up to level 30. But now I've got the enchantment table in a proper spot. Outside, I haven't done anything in the garden yet. That's going to be between now and the next episode, or maybe we'll do something with it with the next episode. We'll see. Oh, I used purple blocks because I thought it would look cool to kind of have this. One of the problems that I had is this corner and this corner were not matching up. Or sorry, this corner and this corner, rather. So this is like one further over this way than this wall. And so I had to really try and hide that. I also want to put different stuff in the flooring here. But I varied up the flooring, like, orientation, to give it a little bit of interest. And then this is where you guys may have saw the extra interest here. It looks like I might have to put a string. I don't think I can put a string there. But so we've got this stuff up here. This is kind of the extra books and stuff, I was figuring. But then where it really gets kind of interesting is as you go through here, you get into a darker and darker spot until you get into this room. And this room is his bedroom. And here I've got all of the windows just completely and totally blocked. You can tell that he's dealing with some mental health issues that he's kind of ignoring. Maybe because the culture just isn't interested in helping him with any of those issues. So really just kind of dealing with there you go. Really Miyanka is just dealing with that and trying to sort of cope with it. So in his own way. So next episode, what I was thinking of doing is actually building a house right here. And I'm thinking for this house, it's going to be a blacksmith. So he's going to actually be, you know, I figured it would be good to be right near the deep slate carver, or whatever we're calling him. Because sort of that will make it so that this is kind of like a district. So we can have like a couple different shops this way that deals with stone. So anyways, guys, that is going to do it for today's episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. Leave me some feedback of what you thought of the format with the story. If you guys liked it, if you guys sort of like the way I've done things before better or whatever. And then we'll, I guess, go from there. So thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, happy mining and crafting.